Hi everyone, I'm Catriona, I'm one of the technicians. What I'm going to do in this video is show you how to use all the settings, all the different lenses, battery, SD card, those kind of things. Some cameras, you need to make sure you're in filming mode, so check and make sure you're in filming mode, otherwise it's going to think you want to take a photo. For something like the 70, you need to make sure that the setting is in manual. So here's one of our cameras, it is the 600D. The first thing that we need to do when we're using the cameras is to put in the battery. Now, our cameras have two different types of batteries. So the 600, for example, takes one of these grey batteries that looks like this. So on the bottom of each camera, you'll find a battery slot. You just have to release this catch here and the battery goes in there. Now, as you can see, this battery isn't going in. All that means is that I put it in the wrong way. If this is the case, all you need to do is turn it around, pop it back in, and it should click and stay in place. And then we need to make sure that this door is closed or the camera won't turn on. The next thing we need to do is pop in the SD card. The SD card slot is on the right hand side of the cameras. You just pull here to release the door, open it up, and then we pop the SD card in this way round. Click it in and close the door. If you have the 70D, then it's going to take a little bit of a different battery, this black one here, but all of the different doors are in the same place as the 600. With your kit bookings, we'll give you 2 batteries and also a charger. So make sure that when one battery runs out, you just pop it on charge and use the other battery, just so you aren't having to wait around for batteries to charge. For any more information about which kind of SD card we'd like you to bring in, just click this video here and it'll tell you which SD cards work best for college. So next thing we need to look at is using the lenses. Now remember, all the different lenses do different things, but they all go onto the camera the same way. So the first thing we need to do is take the body cap off of the camera. The body cap is this round circular thing. It just twists to the left and then you take it off like so, and you can see all the mirrors inside the camera. Your lens also comes with a body cap and a lens cap, so these need to come off as well. Make sure you keep these in a safe place because they're really small and easy to lose, and you don't want to return your kit without them. Next thing you need to do is look for a red circle or a white square on your lens, and then look for the equivalent on the camera. You can see that there's a red circle and there's a red circle on the lens there. And you just have to match up where the 2 red circles are, or the white square, and then twist 90 degrees to the right until it clicks. Just make sure that that lens is in place and it's not going to fall off. Now, the next thing you want to do is make sure that your camera is focused. The controls for focus are on every single lens, so it's not done within the camera, it's done on the lenses. You can see here that there is a button that says AF and MF. That stands for autofocus and manual focus. If you slide it to AF, the camera will be able to automatically focus on your subject. This is really good because it means that it can focus and it'll be nice and sharp. However, the downside of this is that it might start to try and hunt for the subject and it'll change where the focus is while you're filming, and this can potentially ruin your shot. Remember that focus cannot be changed when you get to editing. You need to make sure things are in focus when you're filming. The other option is manual focus. If you just slide it up across to MF, then it means that the camera won't change where the focus is and you have complete control of the focus of the camera. When it's in manual focus, you need to use the focus ring at the front of the lens to turn left and right, and that will change where the focus is. For any more information about lenses and what they all do, check out this video here. Moving on to our lighting settings. Remember, we have shutter speed, ISO and aperture. Starting with shutter speed because it's the easiest to remember, we put our shutter speed on 50. For the 70D, you can just touch the screen for all the different settings and it will change them. For the 600D, look for this asterisk and you hold that down, that button there, and then using this finger with this wheel, you can change the shutter speed by moving it left and right. Next up, we have aperture. Now, the aperture numbers can change depending on which lenses you use. And if you use a 50, you'll get the lowest aperture number, which means the most amount of light going in. Remember that the lower the number on the aperture, the brighter the image is going to be. Again, for the 70, you just need to press the settings at the bottom here. Aperture can be controlled by pressing the button here and moving along like so. For a camera such as the 600, we press this button here called AV, hold it down, and then use this finger again to change the aperture. Lastly, we have ISO, which, just to remind you, is a digital light that can be added to the shot in the camera. ISO is really good because it can add that extra element of light, but just be careful because it does add that grainy effect the higher number that you go. So the lower the ISO, the better the image is going to look. We would recommend not really going above 800 when it comes to ISO. This does depend on the camera, but just to be safe, make sure it's no bigger than 800. Again, for the 70, all you need to do is press where it says ISO, and then you can change the image. See how it gets brighter? For the 600, there is a setting on the top of the camera called ISO. You click that down, and then it will give you the options there that you can just use the arrows and pick your number. When we're filming, we need to make sure that we have the right recording settings. Now, the one that you need to look for a standard shot is 1080p by 1920, and that is 25 frames a second. Remember, the shutter speed is double the frame rate, and the frame rate is 25 frames a second, therefore the shutter speed is 50. For any camera, just go into the menu to find the settings and find movie record size, and you're looking for 1080, 1920, and then 25. Just use that setting there and you're good to go. If you're doing slow-mo, only a couple of our cameras do manage to do slow-mo shots, so come and speak to us if you're looking to do some slow motion, but just watch this video here to learn about what settings you need for that. Lastly, to record, you need to know where the record button is. So all you need to do is just look for either the red dot, because that means record, or the start-stop button. As you can see on the 70, it's the start-stop button. If I press that there, you'll see it starts recording. If you're ever on a shoot and you quickly want to go over all these settings, the best thing to do is check out our Are We Ready to Shoot video, which you can see linked at the top. It's less than 5 minutes long and it goes through all those settings just to make sure that you know you're good to go and you've done all those different settings. For any information about how to use any of our stabilizations, so our tripods, fig rig, tracks, all that kind of thing, either look for our Kit in 60 Seconds playlist that we have on our channel, as that goes through some of the bigger bits of equipment, or check out this video here where James will go through all the different handheld stabilization that we have available. As always, if there's any questions at all, feel free to come visit us in the edit suite and we will answer anything that we possibly can. And we are always available at our email addresses or our TechNet email, which is technet@farnborough.ac.uk.